Something I've reacted to multiple times on this channel is how some non-binary and trans activists were bullied as children for being androgynous. I think it's weird how these people claim to be their authentic selves, and identifying as non-binary or trans is freeing. The way I look at it, they're just affirming their childhood bullies. When the childhood bully said to, let's say, a boy, "You're feminine, but you're a boy. That can't be right. Boys can't be feminine." The boy was like, "That's right. I must be non-binary. I must be trans because I'm a man, but I'm feminine. That can't be right." Is that really empowering? Is that really stunning and brave? And whenever I hear these non-binary activists tell their stories and complain about their childhood bullies, I'm like, but you technically agree with them. You listened to what they said, and now you don't identify as your birth sex. So I would love to ask any trans or non-binary activists, were the childhood bullies wrong? I would say, of course they were. Boys can be feminine without being a third gender. Vice versa with girls. Today I want to react to Alok. I think that's how it's pronounced. A well-known non-binary activist, and he talks a lot about this very topic, so let's just jump right in.
I was slotted into the category boy. And so my first forms of intimidation and harassment were in male segregated spaces, where it was other boys telling me that I was not a boy enough, and that I was a girl, and that I was a and that I was a And the biggest irony of trans feminine life is that when I have the decency to claim those things for myself, then they say, "Shut up, you're a man." So they move the boundaries specifically to make me the problem, not to make their prejudice the problem, right?
Well, hold on a minute. Aren't you agreeing with their prejudice, though? You say, "I cannot be a man because I want to be feminine." Isn't that exactly what childhood bullies said to you? You're not a real boy because you're feminine. Aren't you just agreeing with that? I also think it's dishonest to claim that the same people who claim that boys can't be feminine can't become women because they're just men. Like, are we talking about the same people? Because I don't think so. If we are, they're stupid. And they're wrong. Because no matter what a man does to his body, he will always be a man. Most people already know this. Alok, you were pushed into the category boy because you are one. You're a male, you're a man, same thing. That's reality. Even your non-binary brothers and sisters, even the allies you're sitting right in front of in this clip, they think man, man, man whenever they see you and listen to you.
It's extremely painful when you're a young person and you're so full of wonder and curiosity and wisdom, and then the world says to you, you're a boy. Stop having emotions. Stop feeling. It's time for you to grow up. Make yourself into stone. When you're a girl and people say, your anger, no. Repress that because it makes other people uncomfortable. Keep it inside of you. Of course that's going to manifest as suffering and illness and depression and all of these physical symptoms because it's being dishonest to the human condition. We have the full spectrum of being, the full spectrum of interests. But what gender comes in, it says girls are only allowed to have certain emotions, certain behaviors. Boys are only allowed to have certain emotions, certain behaviors. That's profoundly painful.
You know what? You're right. If gender is about boys can't be emotional, can't cry, and girls can't be angry, we need to create more genders. Because there will be a lot of boys and girls who can't relate to the two genders. That makes sense. But the beautiful thing about reality is that boys can cry as much as they want, and they're still boys. They're actually allowed to. Girls can be as angry as they want and be as butch as they want, and they're still girls, according to reality. What you're talking about is your belief system. It's about your ideology about gender. And in that ideology, there's only one way to be a girl and a boy. And therefore, you have created all these new genders. But that ideology, is bullshit and has nothing to do with reality. And there's a very easy way to remove this pain from young girls and boys who are androgynous, and that is to say to them, be yourself. There's no limit on how many ways you can be a boy and a girl.
One of the lessons of straightness is that you only can belong if you are understood. So in order to be understood, you have to say, I am a man, I am a woman, I am this, I am category. That's not love, that's control. Love is a commitment to one another's perpetual and perennial mystery. Love says, I will never understand you. I will never get you, but I don't need to understand or get you because I'm here to be alongside you, not to consume you.
How can you genuinely love and respect someone who you do not understand? It doesn't make sense in my book. Of course, you need to understand a human being in order to truly, genuinely respect and love them. I mean, if you don't understand them at all, and you just blindly support them, blindly love and respect them, is it real love and respect? I would say no. Real love, real support, and real tolerance is to say to someone who's questioning their gender identity, you don't need to do anything else but being yourself, 100%. And 100% of the time, you don't need to identify as a third or a fifth gender, because it's okay to be you.
What I think happens from a lot of adults when they have to encounter me and other people like me, when they have to contend with us, they are reactivated in this childhood resentment that says, what do you mean we don't ever have to grow up in this way? And instead of being able to say, it hurts to see you because I have to reconsider all the lies I was told by my family and my culture, that I had to leave creativity, abandon wonder, suppress the parts of me that were most idiosyncratic, it is so much easier to dismiss you as foolish and naive. When you realize that, you actually feel so much grace and mercy for these people because you're like, oh, you're just having a reaction to yourself. It's so many versions of you who have not found harmony. I've done that work. What healing is harmonizing with all of our ages.
I can't tell if you know you're full of shit or that you're just dumb. The only thing you have done, sir, is to affirm your childhood bullies who say, if you're a boy who's feminine, you're not a real boy. You're sitting here today as a grown man, refusing to acknowledge you're a grown man because you're feminine. The only thing you have been working on, my friend, is to get away from reality as much as possible. Refusing to acknowledge that you're a man despite being feminine is the only hard work you have done. It sounds extremely unhealthy. What you should be working on is to accept yourself as a man loving to wear dresses and bright colors. Despite what you claim, you're not being your true self, and you're advocating for other people, including children, to not be themselves. And it's not okay. Of course, when it comes to the children, you should not be talking about or to children with that fucking mindset. Because there's absolutely no reason to confuse children about their gender, something that is so fundamental.
When people encounter trans people like me, they think that the transition is just one of gender, and that's only the surface. I think the true transition, and in fact the transition that the world needs most, is a transition from a false self to a true self. We grow up in a world that doesn't give us permission over our own bodies, over our own dignities, over our own beauties. It prescribes to us personalities, identities, uniforms, and we spend our entire life on autopilot, trying to be that which other people need us to be for them.
No, you're wrong about everything you just said. Gender, sex, same thing, is not a social construct. I didn't transition due to society in any way. I didn't transition because I lived in a society that didn't tolerate, didn't accept girls who are masculine. I actually grew up in I live in a very progressive country. I transitioned Because my brain wasn't working right. Because I have a mental disorder called gender dysphoria that wouldn't allow me to feel comfortable with reality, with the fact that I'm a woman. I think it's sad how activists like Alok is being celebrated. Everything about woke culture is super upside down. We just listened to a man claiming he's being his true authentic self, even though he's refusing to acknowledge that he's a man, despite him being feminine. So according to this community, running away from reality and running to made-up genders and identities is being your true authentic self. But to claim that there's a million ways to be a man and a woman is intolerant and some type of phobic, and it's apparently not reality. Doesn't make sense to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. Let me know what you think about Alok, and I cannot wait to read your comments down below. Peace out.